तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल.
So, Jaideep and Sushma are now the co-host. I give them the floor for enlightening us on how to clear AFCAT. AFCAT is on 12th, 13th, 14th of February. And I can see people are preparing for that. Those who prepare for CDS generally prepare for AFCAT as well. Since I guess 10 years, they have started with a separate entry of AFCAT. And there are some numericals, some DICES questions, some intelligence-based questions, which are a bit different and perhaps a bit difficult. So those who score well can guide us on. And those others can also put in their inputs, not just these two, but later on. Let them first share what are their experiences. Yes, Sushma and Jaideep.
Good morning, everyone. Myself Jaideep, and I'm here to share my experience of AFCAT, my AFCAT exams with you. To be very honest, clearing AFCAT, the first thing is, which helped me a lot, is in order to clear an AFCAT or any exams, we have to go to the previous year paper. And previous year paper helps us a lot because they are not only tell us the trend which is coming and also give us a good practice questions. So my personal suggestion would be not just practice mock test, rather than practicing from mock test, practice from previous year paper. And if we talk about the syllabus particularly, just a second, Sushma, can you please share the screen? So if we take the exam pattern, the AFCAT exam consists of 300 marks. The allotment of question is, it gives 3 marks for one correct answer and 1 negative marks for wrong answer. There are 4 sections: English verbalization, followed by general awareness, numerical ability, and reasoning. If we talk about the highest weightage, reasoning contains the highest number of questions, that is 32, followed by English and general awareness, consists of 25 questions each. Maths, that is numerical ability, consists of 18 questions. So, as we know, the merit of AFCAT, in order to get into the merit, we should aim for more than 200 marks. And if we take with high accuracy, even if we score 85, attempt 85 questions with 80 as accurate, it is a better safe score to get in the merit. So if we talk about this syllabus accordingly, English, there is general error spotting, fill in the blanks, or close test, synonyms and antonyms, vocabulary, idiom and phrases. In general awareness, as per the AFCAT syllabus, it is history, geography, politics, current affairs, environment, basic science, defense, art and culture, and sports. Numerical ability, it is decimal fraction, time and work, average, profit and loss, percentage, ratio, and proportion, and simple interest, time and distance, and that. Reasoning, that is consists of 2 parts, verbal reasoning and non-verbal reasoning. If we talk about the strategy, for mathematics, I feel there is abundance of time. In AFCAT, the time limit is 120 minutes, that is 2 hours. So it is very easy that we can attempt all the questions. However, even if we know the basic formulas of maths, we are able to attempt most of the questions. There is one catch in this, like in every exam, if we talk about AFCAT exam, the question comprises of 100 mark questions. 60 to 70 questions are of easy level, which everyone can attempt. And 10 to 15 questions are of moderate level, and after that, the level raises. So, and we have to aim for 80 questions with high accuracy and attempts of 85. So if we aim those easy questions and moderate questions, we will easily able to clear that cutoff, not only cutoff, but the merit list also. But we often always target for those 10 to 15 hard questions, which are difficult to track and which creates problem in the exam as well. So my strategy, which I have always followed, is to always aim for that easy and moderate questions. if we have time and if our preparation is well, we can also attempt the hard questions. For maths, it is out of 18 questions, 12 questions come from basic formulas. So if we know the basic formula, we can solve those questions. And the best source to follow or to practice those questions is previous year paper. Previous year paper, if we go through the previous year paper, we will note that not questions, but trend is always repetitive. For example, there are certain chapters in math that is average, compound interest, time, speed, and distance, boat and streams. These 4 chapters often repeat, and they consist of highest number of questions. So my priority is always to aim these subjects and aim these topics, because even if hard questions comes na, it comes from only these topics. So I give my priority to these topics. And yes, there can be previous year questions. And for sources, if anyone is having strong basic, so you can just go and practice. If you want to increase the base or his basics is not clear, there is a YouTube channel called Abhinay Maths. Or you can follow that channel on YouTube, because he has covered topic wise maths, whole math syllabus he has covered topic wise. So you will be able to solve those questions. And I will suggest the chapter specifically time, speed, and distance and average. You can go and practice through that video as well of his on YouTube channel, because he has taken some hard questions. So in AFCAT, you can solve those questions from there as well. If we talk about English, normally the main problem which I face or many of us has faced is error spotting and vocabulary. Among 3 to 4, 5 out of 3 to 4 out of 5 questions are of journal grammar or journal basic rules, which are asked in earlier exams of SSC, CDS, and AFCAT. If you know these rules, then you don't have anything to worry. If you lack time, then again follow the previous year questions, because previous year questions, these general basic rules repeat themselves from previous year questions as well. And for vocabulary, the main thing which I have noticed, or which initially I was doing wrong, was just mugging up synonyms and antonyms. This approach I felt was much difficult, rather than it is easier to learn the word meanings rather than just mugging up synonyms and antonyms. If we know the meaning of the word, we can easily eliminate or we can easily make out the synonym of words. If we go on mugging up, it will be very difficult, because there is no specific thing like this word has only this synonym. There can be multiple synonyms, and which is very hard to include in one book. So, but if you know the meaning of words, you will be easily able to solve those questions. And you can give special focus to one-word substitution and idiom and phrases. One-word substitutions are generally more frequently asked, and apart from that, it also helps in reasoning as well. And idiom and phrases are something which are asked regularly, and it is very easy to do or to learn. You can refer sources to newspaper again. Newspaper is a good source of, and SP Bakshi for vocabulary, because many of the vocabulary-based questions are asked from SP Bakshi. It is my personal experience. And to do close test or any other thing, reading habit, if you have a reading habit, then there is nothing else which is required to crack English. And I feel newspaper is the best source, because it not only improves your reading habit, but the vocabulary which is asked is normally the same. So reading newspaper is a good thing. And one thing you can do additionally, if you read newspaper, those normally, if you don't understand any word, we just Google it or search it in the dictionary. But I will suggest you to write it down as well. And once you start writing down and revising them, then not only it will help you in reading newspaper, but in exam as well. If we talk about reasoning, it holds the major chunk of the paper, that is 32 questions. And reasoning is the easiest part in which you can score the most, but it also 3 to 4 questions asked in the reasoning, which are quite tough. There are 2 sections of reasoning, non-verbal and verbal. Non-verbal, you just need to practice previous year. That is enough. For verbal reasoning, there are 2 to 3 questions in reasoning, which will be hard. And I will suggest you need to focus on rest of the easy questions to gain number from that. If you have time, you can focus on those 2 to 3 questions that are hard. And these are from generally analogy. Analogy is like this relates to this. For example, cricket relates to empire, then hockey relates to home or something like that. So these questions become tough when they include specific terminology. Those specific terminology can be from science or come from vocabulary. If it comes from vocabulary, it is generally asked from one word substitution. That is why I asked you to do one word substitution, because it will not only help you in English vocabulary but also in this reasoning part. And general reasoning, if you know the tables, squares till 30 and cubes till 20, a lot of questions are solved from this approach only. Cause in series or finding the missing number, the first thing that is there in the exam or the first approach is to look whether it is a square or a cube. For example, it is 7 comma 7 comma 26. Then what? So we know that 8 is the cube of 2 and 8 minus 1 is 7. Similarly, 27 is the cube of 3 and 1 minus is 26. So followed by 64 is the cube of 4 minus 1, 63. So there are a lot of questions which are related to squares and cube. If you check the previous year, it is mentioned that as well. So learning squares, cube, and tables will help you a lot in reasoning as well. Sources for this, I again will emphasis on previous year questions. And there are analogy based question or OIR books, PDFs available on the internet as well. For GS, if we look at the syllabus of GS, it is very huge syllabus. But we look at the pattern, it is a quite repetitive pattern. From the last 1.5 year in AFCAT, there are very few questions which are asked from current affairs, but there are a lot of questions which are asked from sports, teams, cup, trophies, eminent personalities. So these are something which are regularly asked in sport GS. Apart from that, miscellaneous, that is organizations, headquarters, country, capital, currency, awards, books. These are something which are regularly asked in your AFCAT exams. And there is history as well. And in history, specifically medieval history is asked, battles, constructions, dynasties, founders, and books. So rather than just completing whole the GS, if you look at the pattern and put more emphasis on these topics, it will help you a lot. And in science as well, there is no need of completing whole the science. If you do, then it is a plus point. But if you lack in time, specifically now when AFCAT is approaching. So in science, if you do vitamins and minerals from biology, diseases from biology, SI units from physics, and alloys from chemistry and basic name of the formulas, then it will help you a lot, because these are the specific topics from which questions are generally asked. And there is always 2 to 3 questions which are hard, so you need not to worry about that. Now we talk about the journal sources again. Previous year is the crux, and there is a fixed pattern. There is a fixed pattern of solving previous year as well. If we solve a previous year and analyze our marks and close it, there is no use of it. Or rather, I would suggest what I used to follow was, if I solve a previous year paper, I solve it, I analyze my marks. Okay, then comes analyzing the previous year paper. That is, where did I do wrong? Where my marks was deducted? And I used to make proper notes of it. So I have a proper register of previous year paper as well. So that initially take times, but in long run, it helped me a lot, because when there is less time and I have to revise quick things, so that I have completed the previous year paper. Things which I have done right in previous year paper will automatically in exam as well, I will do it right. But things which I have done wrong in previous year paper, there are high chances that if I do not analyze that paper, I will do the same mistake in exam as well. So making notes of previous year paper is a very important thing. And these are my last time revision things which I usually follows. Revising the notes which I made from previous year paper. Apart from that, the one more important thing which I analyze, that these are the exam strategy which we follow in preparation. But there is one more strategy which we should follow, or I follow during the exam. That is, you should know that your strength and weakness, and you should know what to attempt and what to leave. There are often happens what there are difficult questions in the starting, and we keep on solving them, which are often hard, and we lose confidence in the middle of the exam, and we are not able to complete the whole exam. What I do is, if some question is hard, I just mark it and move forward. My approach is to at least solve the complete paper, or at least go through the complete paper, because it has happened that easier questions were in the last, but because I was just stuck on the initial questions, I was not able to look at the last questions. So it is important to realize what to attempt and what not to attempt. This thing will eventually help a lot in the exam as well. And again, analyzing. And the last thing is making and restricting your notes, your source of studies. There are a lot of PDF, there are a lot of books, there are multiple books. And if we keep on studying each book, different books every time, and we do not revise them, then there is no use of it, because in the end, in examination, we will not be able to remember. Rather, I would just say, take your time, make proper notes from books, or restrict your sources. If you are reading book, read one book and revise it thoroughly, because it will benefit you more than reading multiple books one time. Instead of that, read one book multiple times. This is one approach which helps a lot. And if you restrict your sources, it will not help you in this AFCAT, but other exams as well. For example, there your SSB is there, but simultaneously your AFCAT exams or CDS exam is also there. But you have once restricted your sources, you know that in less time what approach I need to follow. So this approach helps a lot when there is time, when there is scarcity of time. And for your benefit, I have attached the previous year PDF, some PDFs of previous year AFCAT exams, static sports, because static sports contain at least 2 to 3 questions in the AFCAT examination. So there is a PDF of that as well. Apart from that, country, capital, currency, organizations and headquarters, military exercise, and idioms and phrases. These are something which are asked frequently, and I thought it would be beneficial for you. One point is there that the PDF of previous year which I have attached is of 2009 till 2019. So I was not able to get that PDF consisting of the latest exam. So if you want, you can download it from internet, or you can take Arihant previous year book as well. There is a publication of Arihant which publishes AFCAT previous year exams. So you can take that as well. This is my note.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, sir. And good morning to everyone present here. There are just a few points which I think I would be only repeating, because first thing, Jaideep has put so much focus on previous year papers. This is the crux of not only of AFCAT exam, but any exam. If you are appearing either for IAS or for AFCAT, any basic or high level exam, you will always find the top scorers saying that previous years you have to analyze. And same thing goes for the limited books. If you want to try, then you can use multiple sources, but in the end, I can tell you this thing, that you will end up limiting your sources only for any particular exam. So if you want to try, then you can surely do that. But if you want to follow the advice, then I think it is very much beneficial to limit your sources and to analyze previous papers. I have talked to many of the peoples uh, who have got approximately more than 200 or even 250 plus students are there. I have talked to many of them, and after that I have made this after that I and Jaideep, we have made this PDF, and it is so beneficial. And I personally feel that if you follow this, then I don't think there's any need to go to any other source. You will all these sources, you will surely find them helpful. if you want to give it a try, then you can go through the PDFs which are attached in it, and just go through previous year papers. And after that, if you want to attempt mocks, then uske liye I have found Textbook and Grade Up. These two sources are very helpful. And for previous year books, I think Arihant publication, that will do well. So that's all.
We'll share this in the groups, and the group coordinators can forward the PDF, the required
Yes,
material.
ma'am.